23rd. Light contact with Billy Dietrich translates to hard contact with the rail for Joe Ilg. Problems for Chuck Wild in the Scatsan Fuso car. Outside pole sitter Jeremy Gardner, number 57, pulls away from fellow youngster Alan Crimes before recording his first career win. Veterans Doug Esch and Tim Hershey follow the Shermansdale Perry Countyan across the finish.
Jeremy, how's it feel to win Williams Grove?
Feels great. This is where I wanted to win first.
Well, we've got a checker flag from Bulls of Newchester for you to remember this one, and I'm sure this will find a place somewhere in your home.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks a lot.
How old are you, Jeremy?
20 years old.
20 years old? How long have you been racing these things?
About 2.5 years now.
Any plans of moving up to the 410s?
Yeah, get some sponsors. No money here.
Bob Beitelman, professional mechanic, crew chief, PR director, engine builder, and driver of Appalachian Racing. That doesn't leave very many other people for the 21-year sprint car veteran to blame on nights like this. Shawn Michael will blame Len Thompson.
Trouble in turn number 4. Len Thompson and Shawn Michael get together.
Another view shows the Zemco car endoing quite a distance after clearing the rail of the infamous Williams Grove front stretch. Our Cracker Jack electrician, Barry Wenger, will have repairs to the light wires done in minutes. We also have to thank Barry for help with our new, improved first-turn camera. Mike Wagner, 55, leads from the pole for 8 laps, but fast Freddie Raymer, 77, is in second for that 8th lap restart. Wagner eventually suffered mechanical problems while Len Thompson came back from his heat race controversy to finish second, with Skip Jackson home in third. June 24th, the girls say Silver Spring is the action track. With 58 super sportsmen fighting to qualify, they're probably right, and that car count is down a little. Wouldn't you young ladies rather have another shopping mall than this noisy old racetrack? Jeff Schlitt flips as a victim of turn 4 circumstances in one of the two 20-plus feature time. 25 laps around the 3/8 mile. Joe Reniker from Dillsburg, driving one of the two S&S Motorsports number 25s, is holding off the challenges of last week's winner, Bobby Weaver, number 71. Fantasy has the Pepsi 1 up to third after starting 13th, a very close third. As Joe claims his third career Silver Spring win, watch as Fantasy nips Weaver for second at the finish. A kiss from the wife for the Pickletonian, who is still sore-shouldered from a crash here 2 weeks ago.
Also on June 24th, a packed house is at the Mercer Speedway for another Western Pennsylvania Wingless Special. 5th place starter Jamie Smith, number 5, leads Rob Cheney and the pack on a 4th lap restart before Wayne McPeak flips after climbing a tire. The final lap, leader Smith bobbles just as Worcester, Ohio's Cheney sets up a final turn slide job.
And Rob Cheney hits him as they come out of corner number 4.
It's Cheney's first win of the year here. Mark Casello followed the recovering
Still
Smith.
June 24th, 39 sprinters fill the pits. Brooke Lively was just riding along when he met Danny Jones. Sean Keane rolls over after contact with Bill Bryan. Keith Kaufman turns right on the start of the feature.
Problems for Keith Kaufman. He collects Lance DeWeese. Turn is out.
Time trials start the fast cars up front.
Raymer around Kreitz. Up beside Siegel.
Fred Raymer, 77, quickly surfaces, moving past Donnie Kreitz, Steve Siegel, and Shawn Michael. The number 1 of Michael comes back briefly, but Lincoln's Go Breck Memorial goes to Fast Freddy over Siegel and Kreitz.
Well, Kevin was a really good guy, I'll tell you. you miss him, and it still doesn't seem real to me. I mean, the whole Gobrecht family, I still, you know, like everyone else, feels really bad for. But he was a hell of a good guy, a really good racer, unrealized potential. You know what I mean? We all knew he was going to be good, but I'll tell you, the most thing I miss about him, the racing, as far as I'm concerned, of all the people in the pits, that's the smallest part of this whole deal. It's the people, and he was good people, I'll tell you, and a lot of fun to be with, and there's a lot of nights I can't remember being with him, and they're the ones that were the most fun.
June 27th, 27 sprinters are at Big Diamond as the Speed Week Series moves on. Donnie Kreitz, 69, works the lead from the 22 of James Chesson. The Apple Chevrolet number 12 of Tyler Walker in third. Lap 21. Walker gives the Apple team its third consecutive Big Diamond 410 sprint car win with this winning pass. James Chesson hung on for third behind Kreitz.
A long ways from home. Where do you really call home now out there in California? Home is LA, but I don't know if I can really call it that. I haven't been there very much for the last 4 years. I don't know what you call me, a road dog or what I am. I'm in a different spot every month, so it doesn't. I'll do you guys another backflip if you guys can give me one big scream. How about he? Want to see him do another backflip? Here he goes, watching Tyler Walker with a backflip. Wow, I missed it, and I appreciate that.
June 28th, the growing success of the annual Speed Week continues to surprise us. Wednesday night, Silver Spring will have its sprint car-only contribution over before 10. 27 410s do their once-a-year spring thing. Hold them down, boys. Keith Kaufman, 7, leads until a lap 15 wheelie allows the Mannheim Auto Auction 77 of Fred Raymer to complete his winning charge from 7 starting spot. Freddie, who's a 5-time Speed Week point champion, had to borrow a fuel cell from the Apple team on his way to the $4,000 paycheck. Donnie Kreitz finished third behind Kaufman. June 30th. We don't know what it is about the Williams Grove front stretch, but Brian Gobrecht will become its latest victim as Speed Week continues with the 10,000 to win Mitch Smith Memorial. The 39 car count is the high for the series. Troy Weitzel also has a bad night. Donnie Kreitz, number 69 from Sinking Spring, is on the move, first blowing past Fast Freddie into second, before taking first from his nephew, Dave Ely, in the white 77.
Kreitz to the low side, into the lead, off 4. Donnie Kreitz has taken the lead.
But Todd Schaefer, 88, is putting on one of the most amazing runs since Dan Dietrich won from last here on a daytime surface back in 1990. Schaefer's earlier problems found him starting 18th in the basically heads-up time trial feature lineup, and here he is moving into first on just the 19th of the 30-lapper. A restart with 2 laps to go. Kreitz wants the lead back. Nobody has passed more cars contact-free over the years than the slick track expert, but hey, all's fair in love, war, and the front stretch at Williams Grove. Todd and Donnie are pitted side by side. Kreitz goes on to hold off a last lap challenge by Fred Raymer, becoming the Grove's all-time leading feature winner with 44. Billy Pouch finished third. Donnie's a better racer than he is a Victory Lane diplomat.
Donald, congratulations.
Thank you. We were a little loose there, and tell you what, Todd did a heck of a job coming around. As I seen when he was on the board, I knew it was him. I knew where he was going, and probably should have went up there, you know, in the cushion and try and block him, never left him by. And when that restart, you know, we just got a good run on him, and, you know, 90% of the time I'd probably leave that lane open, but for 10,000 to win, you know, I was in front of him, so it was my track. I mean, I know if that was Kaufman or Raymer or someone, he would never try to stick his front end in there.
Let's compare Donnie's perfect pass of Ely to his infamous slide job into Schaefer. The racers are still coming up to speed on a restart when the 69 appears to experience an earlier and stronger push up the track. Mitch Smith's daughter sums it all up.
Kelly, what'd you think of that?
Hey, it's racing.
31 racers come to Port Royal on the second Saturday night of Speed Week. Number 69 continues his tear, starting 5th before taking first from Keith Kaufman, number 7, on the 13th lap. Crates picked up $5,000 for his second big check of the season here at the beautiful Juniata County Half Mile. Kaufman finished second with Tyler Walker third. July 2nd. Sunday night in Snyder County, and Speed Week brings 26 sprinters to Selinsgrove, along with the season's largest crowd. Lance DeWeese explodes a tire in rather dramatic fashion. With time trials starting the fastest near the front, it's Fred Raymer, 77, past pole sitter Todd Schaefer. Tyler Walker would rebound from an early spin to finish second, with Lance DeWeese third and Schaefer hanging in for fourth. Fast Freddy will claim his 6th Speed Week title here tonight, as the scheduled Susquehanna finale will be canceled by rain.
Here we go south and back in time to 1978. The Washington-Baltimore Beltway area, not too many years ago, was home to 2 tracks. The paved Beltsville Speedway here operated from 1965 to 1979. After management built a mammoth sound wall to appease picky neighbors, the track began to struggle with fan turnout and car counts. Today, an astrological institute has taken over the land of the former Friday night operation, but the banking of the corners still trace the ghost track. The loss of the dirt, Dorsey Speedway, was even sadder because the bank quarter mile, which kept its classic wooden fence to the end, was a rip-roaring success. Built in 1951, Dorsey appeared to be just a hole in the wall to those who don't understand. But to thousands of racing enthusiasts, it was Central Maryland's kingdom of Saturday night. But land values surged, and suddenly in 1985, the sale was made, and a shopping plaza was built. The United Racing Club joined the stock cars here several times in front of the big crowds. These scenes are from Dorsey's final year in 1985. When we stopped by this year, the plaza was mostly empty. Ironically, a piercing pagoda occupies space where racers once distinguished themselves with know-how, skill, and just plain guts. But all is not lost. Among farmlands to the south sits the currently successful Potomac Speedway, savior of Lower Maryland. Despite having much territory to itself, the paperclip-shaped 3/8 mile is a Friday night operation. The local stock cars, plus some of the East's best late model drivers, really know how to get around the tight high bank turns, with some exceptions. Bordered on one side by motocross and the other by a drag strip, this certainly is the neighborhood for Maryland motorheads. The United Racing Club makes its annual visit here on June 30th, bringing a good field of 29 of those outlaw cars like on TV. Indeed, the giant crowd will soon respond to a thrilling burst of speed. Rookie Trevor Lewis, who has a URC win already this season, underestimates one of Potomac's many berms. George Suprick, 87, and Sam Ross lead the feature start. Becca Anderson tries to push Sam along a little faster, and Sam winds up finishing 21st. The second restart, and Suprick pulls away from Tim Hogue and eventual runner-up Bill Bryant, 16. George wired the field for his first career URC win. Hogue finished behind Bryan in third.
Woo! George Suprick, congratulations, boy. What a fantastic run for you tonight. The first time you've ever been to Potomac Speedway, and you wired the field. This car was just perfect for you all night long.
Thank you. I'm really impressed with Potomac Speedway. It's a long ride from Clark Summit, Pennsylvania down here, and it's great. I mean, it's really nice to be down here and see a nice crowd in the stands, and this is my first URC win, so second win for the season, but the first with URC, so I'm thrilled. This is a nice speedway.
July 4th, we continue our passion for diversity as we make the short trip along with a giant crowd to the fast circular quarter-mile Mahoning Valley Speedway near Lehighton. A Penn Jersey 50-lapper is on tap for the most appealing of all paved track racers, the Asphalt Modifieds. Bill Teal, number 16, fends off this challenge by Steve Witt, who will restart on the rear. Asphalt is often called one groove, but not here. Points handicapping, combined with double file restarts, soon learns the pavement counters to bust a second groove. Eric Beers in the Green 94 uses one such occasion to work first from the lower riding Teal. Speaking of passing, Witt has come all the way back to finish second with Todd Eckhart third. A late race spin forcing Teal back to 15th. Eric is a past point champ here, and his win today is worth $2,000 at the happening Mahoning Valley Speedway.
July 7th, back to normal. 47 super sportsmen are at Williams Grove. Warm-ups. Brian Rhodes rides over Paul Troutman during sun-blinded third turn action. Tonight's only front stretch victim is Dave Berkheimer, who clips a spinning competitor. Feature time. Here they come.
Challenging on the low side, car number 11.
Completing the first lap, Tim Leapart, number 11, is under and past pole sitter Steve Cannon, 23.
Tim Leapart takes the lead in turn number 1. Let's see if he can hold it. Cannon off the cushion, can't come back. Tim Leapart, your leader.
Bill Brown hits the wall. The super sportsman's most aggressive driver, Mark Smith, number 25, always higher and harder into the turns, comes from 15th starting spot to win in uncomfortably easy fashion. Bobby Howard would finish second, with Frankie Hurd third. Mark could get the job done in a good 410 sprint ride, and his better half could be a movie star. Speaking of 410s, 33 are in the pits tonight at the Grove. Shawn Michaels straddles a spinning Jimmy McBee. The feature goes non-stop. Tyler Walker in the Apple number 12 finally reworks the first position away from early race leader Brooke Weibly on the 10th circuit. But here comes 19-year-old college student James Chesson, number 22, with just over 2 laps to go. Lance DeWeese will finish third.
The 2-lap side will be out this time around. Chesson makes a bid on the bottom. Walker turns the car. Chesson has taken the lead. 2 laps left for James Chesson. Chesson with the lead. Walker running second. Tyler Walker tries a slide job on the low side. Can't pull it off. Last lap. Walker has taken the lead back. Chesson's going to try it and run. Slides up in front of the leader. Chesson's got the lead now.
I know you're happy, but in addition to that, it had to be fun out there those last couple laps.
I tell you the truth, I knew I had a good car in the beginning. I settled back a little bit and kind of waited things settled out, and I just started driving towards the front. I didn't know what Tyler was running for. I didn't know what position I was in. I didn't know anything. I'm just, sliding guys, and I ended up on the scoreboard 22 and number 1. Hey, what can I do?
Lincoln, July 8th, with 24 sprints in the Pigeon Hills, everyone qualifies, but Tyler Walker makes it challenging for himself, spinning with a large lead in his heat, restarting on the rear, and then crashing while trying to gain the last qualifying position on the final turn. It's Fred Raymer's 8th win of the season here, as he takes first from Sean Weaver, 69, who finished third behind Jeremy Trout. Dwayne Smith and micro-graduate Corey Haas will have their high hopes dashed tonight among the 41-car count of the always entertaining 358 cubic inch powered sprint cars. Dwayne gets over Jimmy Layton's tire on turn 3. Corey gets pinched in all kinds of traffic in turn 1. Number 10 stays in better shape, but Chad Wolf may be just as dizzy. Douglas number 6 has been looking strong past Brian Eichelberger on to the win. Darren Ash and Chad Layton followed Ash across the checkers.
I don't know what we were seeing, but I knew that everybody said we got to miss the wrecks, and then we'll get up. It was funny, that first lap to the 410 feature, Fred moved the whole way up to 5th or something, and I said, we just need that to happen in our race, and geez, the luck just fell our way. And
meanwhile, over at Silver Spring, Bobby Weaver, 71, and Denny Willie in the white number 17 are trading the lead coming around for the last lap.
Denny Willie goes in the lead on the last.
Willie does have one previous spring sportsman win 15 years ago. 58 cars in the pits tonight. Tom Hacksaw finished in the final podium position. July 9th, Selinsgrove, the battle of the 88s. Mike Walters in maroon has been looking strong here lately, not giving the lead up tonight until lap 7, when Todd Schaefer in white made the pass on his way to his third Selinsgrove win of the year. Lance Deweese wound up second with Fred Raymer third. Walters hung on for sixth. Mr. Excitement just became the point leader here in Snyder County. While the sprint field was again short tonight at 15, the late models have been filling their pit with car counts around 30.
We got a late model flipping over in turn number 1.
Also, an adequate field of pro stocks are always entertaining at the wide-open natured Selinsgrove. After some major rain, we're right back at Selinsgrove on July 16th. The field is up to 17, but we lose one in warm-ups as steady Selinsgrove supporter Brooke Wadley gets his bell rung. Brooke will be back next week. Another hard one in the feature as rookie Kenny Myers does the popular over-the-wheel into the rail maneuver. Kenny has only a couple of races under his belt and was getting faster. Once again, Hurricane Mike Walters, 88, driving on the edge. Every lap is the show, holding off Fred Raymer, 77. Until one of those late race restarts when the Hamilton car usually becomes unbeatable.
Raymer right on his tail, off 2, he'll take the lead.
Todd Hester third. Including a rain-out holdover, 5 25-lap features packed Grandview on July 18th. During warm-ups for the 410 sprints, Pat Cooper flipped after tangling with Todd Schaefer. Surprisingly, it would be the only spill of the night. Hello, Judy. The ARDC midget feature is up first. Brian Kobelar's 49 takes first from Bill Ertel.
The 49 car, Brian Kobelar. Green flag flies.
Ray Bull in the Gillespie number 1 takes over.
To the outside. Ray Bull hammered down quickly like a snap of the finger grabs the number 1 spot. And Kobelar gets quick. Here's Kobelar on the inside. Side by side, and he's going to pull a router from the hat. He's pulling up Fluffy's ears down the back.
Mark Freeland finished third.
Right down with a checkered. Watch him on a turn number 4. The win goes to Ray Bull.
The first 410 feature had some interesting moments. Dave Hahn does a donut. Troy Weitzel plows a roadblock. Judy Bates rides over Mark Richard. Frenchtown's Billy Pouch wins the first 410 sprint feature, taking the lead as the blue 53 of Skip Jackson slips high in lap traffic on the 16th circuit. Jackson would hold on for second over Fred Raymer. The kid's now 43 years old and is $5,000 richer. It's a tough job to autograph Miss Motorsports. The Cars Sprints took it off tonight, but a car count of just 15 for the Invitational disappointed those of us hoping for a landmark event to demonstrate real sprint car racing here in central Pennsylvania. Gary Gullib, 51, grabs the lead at the start. The track is dry, slick by now. Wingless sprints, more so than winged, need moisture. Moonton's 51-year-old Gullib wires the field over Brian Buckwalter and Dale Hammaker. Ray Swinehart, 33, into the lead past Kenny Gilmore. Anybody who doesn't admit that the modifieds stole the show here tonight just has a problem with stock cars. One Strunk in the similarly painted number 357 is working first from Swinehart as the race nears midpoint. The mods made more contact with fewer yellows, seldom overreacting to the frequent wheel brushing. The race for first wasn't between 2 cars through lap traffic, but a double or triple wide all-out assault on first by most of the field. Grandview must surely be proud to be showcasing its Saturday night regulars during the Thunder shows. Jeff Strunk, number 9, completes his winning run from 11th starting spot to take the lead from his brother on the 18th lap. Glenn finished second over Chip Slocum.
Jeff Strunk right down to the inside part of the speedway. Here's where the brotherly love stops down the backstretch. Jeff Strunk on the inside. Well, about the only one not invited to that brotherly love party was the number 61 of Chip Slocum. Now, Jeff Strunk, the Kenworth Cummins motor truck.
The second 410 sprint feature quickly spread around the track, but we have a good one going between Billy Pouch in the J&M Motorsports 55 and Fred Raymer.
Raymer doesn't back down, wheel to wheel. They drag race it side by side on a turn number 4. Raymer wants to be the big kahuna out here tonight, but it's Pouch looking for the big enchilada. It's
Fauci back down to the inside part of the speedway. There's Raymer on the outside. Halfway sign coming down. 12 laps have now been complete. Billy Pouch, Raymer's in trouble.
Notice Lance DeWeese, 88, passed the looping 77 into second. After Pouch bumps a lapped car, his right rear tire appears to be wobbling, and things soon get worse from there. DeWeese goes on to hold off some strong challenges by the 69 of Donnie Kreitz, with Raymer finishing third.
Turn number 2 this time, but Lance DeWeese having things all his own way. DeWeese out to the inside part of the speedway. Here's Donnie Kreitz to the outside.
July 20th, a top late model driver has turned promoter here just west of the circuit at the fabulous Bedford Speedway. Although stock cars are his forte, Bob Salovey has nothing against sprinters and proves it with a major purse including $500 to start. 31 sprinters, mostly towed west for the working fan-friendly time trial-free midweek special in front of a nice crowd. Harrisonville's Mike Wagner, 55, leads 9 laps until the 49-year-old man from Mifflintown, Keith Kaufman, number 7, makes his move. A busy, fast Freddy in turn 1. No damage. We've called Raymer the best driver in the country, but that was just luck. The finish was KK over Wagner and Shawn Michael.
July 22nd. Staying west but moving north, we make our second visit to the Hidden Valley Speedway here in the land of 4-inch moths. 5 divisions of around 100 stock cars who agree that asphalt's just for getting there can be counted on here. In classic American short track Saturday night tradition, tonight's show runs well past midnight. A full field of cars sprints present a Hidden Valley encore. The yellow number 74 of J.R. Berry leads, and now we have a yellow flag. 3 wide for the lead on the 3/8 mile. Dan Ridgecreek, number 80, comes out on top over Lyndon Mathias and Berry. Lap 12, New Berlinville's Kevin Drury, number 31, makes the winning move after starting in 8th position. It's Kevin's second car's win of the season. Ridgecreek second, Dale Hammaker finishing third.
Yeah, we were here last time. We spun it out twice, and you know, we can't win that way. So this time we kept it going straight, and then it worked out pretty good.
Yeah, it did. And you came from 8th. It took you to the halfway point to get the lead. What do you think of the Valley?
I like it. I mean, it's the track still had a good surface on it, even though it had a few features on it already, and that's nice. I'd like to say congratulations to Dan Ridgecreek. He put up a heck of a race. I wasn't sure if I was going to get him or not, but we were lucky.
July 25th, the Outlaws are at Lernerville. A teen angel gets an autograph from a king. Where else would you see men lining up to shop for clothes? No Nike or Guess junk here. These are genuine Jensens. Sammy Swindell, the stories he could no doubt tell about his life on the road as an outlaw since we first recorded this 1979 image of a scrawny kid and his traveling companion. A small crowd seems to be especially enamored with the colorful paint job on Ed Lynch's number 2. 41 cars, $33,000 to win. And that should be no problem. To make the Outlaws amazingly fast, you can put dirt on a high-bank super speedway, or you can just give them a moist surface like they usually do here at Lernerville. Jeff Shepard dominated early, but Stevie Smith, 19, is getting stronger. Caution flags for spins by the likes of Mark Kinzer here. Shepard's number 4 continues to lead, but guess who's coming to dinner? Slammin' Sammy into second. Swindell's winning charge from 7th ends with this pass of Shepard on the 30th of 35 laps. Shepard saved the posse was second, and Stevie Smith, of course, who would still be with the posse if we ran time trials every week, was third. A kiss from Amy ends our Swindell segment. Sammy will soon hit the hotel room with 6 Woo feature wins on the season and 14 career here at Lernerville. July 26th surprised many of us when in dry weather the woe came to Williams Grove and a racing surface broke out. After several track records in time trials, the cart appeared trackside and a 45-minute push truck parade followed that only served to flatten the cushion for about 2 laps of the first heat. Ted had reason to worry. Just 24 hours before a national TV audience, cars sponsored by the likes of Harris Furniture would be beating the likes of Channel Lock and Quaker State. In fact, the PA posse would sweep the top 4 positions. After Greg Hodnett's problems on the start, Lance DeWeese, 88, leads Chris Ace, Dave Ely, and Keith Kaufman.
Chris Ace makes a bid on the bottom, nothing there. Dave Ely all over Lance now.
DeWeese's closest challenger was Ely early on, but Ace eventually returned to second with Ely third and Keith Kaufman fourth.
And of course, you don't have to requalify tomorrow night. What does that mean?
That means a lot. All I was worried about tonight was getting locked in the top 4, and I can tell you what, if somebody would have got by me for the lead, I'd have just been happy for second, so we were locked in, because tomorrow, the luck of the draw means a lot in time trials, and I know for one thing the track won't be like it is right now.
The seemingly ever-adjustable Outlaw format started fast-timer Swindell on the pole of his heat race on the dry second-day surface. This helped get the Channel Lock car onto the front row for the feature. But still, it's Lance DeWeese grabbing the lead.
Lance through the middle, Sammy's right there. Chris coming on the bottom. Dave Ely's 4th. Hodnett's 5th, Francis 6th. Sammy coming on the inside now. Lance trying to keep him at bay.
Chris Ace moved in on Sammy, but Swindell always saves his best for late.
Chris Ace working Sammy on the bottom. Chris and Sammy battle hard into 3. Sammy tries the bottom. Lance up top. Chris coming after him. Lance leads it. Chris to the low side now. Sammy up high. Who's it going to be on the backstretch? Chris and Sammy side by side. Sammy dives to the low side. Chris follows him through. Hodnett's coming fast. Lance
Ace faded a little when Swindell was racing with Greg Hodnett, 12, for second, when something happened to leader DeWeese in turn 1. Steve Kinzer came all the way from 11th to catch up to Swindell's number 1 on the final lap, with Hodnett holding on to 3rd. Donnie Kreitz was the first posse member tonight and 4th.
Did you see what happened to the 88 from your point of view? Looks like you probably had a bird's eye view.
I don't know if something broke or what, but he just kind of spun around. You know, you wouldn't think Lance would spin, because I couldn't tell, because there was a lap car. There was a guy right behind him, that did get into him, so I couldn't really see his car. But I don't know if something broke or what. But I seen him turn around, and that's all I could tell. I couldn't, if something. I didn't know if he had a flat, and I tried to look when we came back around, but I still couldn't see. And he's a good enough driver that I don't think he'd make a mistake like that. Something had to break on his car.
The action would be over at Lincoln tonight, where 25 410 sprints are joined by 31 358 sprints. Several cars tangle as Jim McBee winds up on his side. Bob Beitelman rides the wall. Chris Knopp, number 6, takes first from Manola's Billy Sims in the July 29th feature event.
Knopp all over your leader, Billy Sims. Knopp underneath Sims in turn number 2 and into the lead on the backstretch. Chris Knopp has taken the lead.
Looks like Steve Siegel is settling a score with Danny Jones. Unfortunately, others get involved. That's Josh Wells on his side. Knopp's fellow Marylander Jesse Wentz moves to the front on the 19th lap.
Gathers it up this time to the outside in 3 and 4. Jesse Wentz challenges Knopp at the line. Jesse Wentz has taken the lead.
It'll be the man from Manchester's 4th Lincoln career win. Johnny Mackison followed Knopp across the finish.
Definitely tough competition here at Lincoln on a weekly basis, but Chris Knopp gave you fits tonight for a couple laps.
Chris was definitely fast. I mean, it's no doubt about it. He was real fast. It took everything I had to get him, and I'm just glad we did. We've been waiting for a long time. Didn't get one last year, didn't get a win at all, and we needed one to boost morale on this team.
358 rookie Billy Heltzel. Micro graduate 358 rookie Alan Crimes. Billy Heltzel in action. Alan Crimes also finds that wall. More unscheduled action featuring several veterans as Eric Stamball, Doug Esch, Jake Rodaball, and Bob Camilli stack them up. Hillsburg's Tim Hershey, 56, comes from 8th to the lead, passing Jerry Stinson here. Joe Ild would wind up second with Stinson third.
Tim, congratulations. Once you got around Stinson, you checked out, buddy.
That was good. The crew had the car good, and all I could do was just steer it. Finally.
It's been a long time coming here at Lincoln. When was your last win in the 358 division?
Never have one. This is the first one.
July 30th, the Eddie Sanders Micro Sprint Series moves to Path Valley. When Mike Dicely leads, the race is for second, but someone forgot to tell Shade Gap's Jimmy Callahan, number 111. Series champ Dicely finishes second with Dusty Schatzer third. That's yours truly on the left.
It's featureman time. The sprint cars are ready to rumble. Here they come. Out of the turn. Green is out. There they go.
Down the road to the Susquehanna Speed Week makeup. Finally back from his leg injury, Chris Ace leads from the front. Todd Schaefer and Donnie Kreitz are still not on speaking terms. It's Chris leading every lap of the Time Trial Classic over Keith Kaufman and surprise visitor Darren Pittman. 25 sprinters participated.
Well, yeah, you know, it always helps to start up front, but we seem to have a handle on this track, on the setup on this track. We always go pretty good here, and pretty long race, and my leg was starting to get pretty sore, but, you know, this makes up for all of it.
New Jerseyite Steve Cannon, 23, makes this winning pass of John Provenza before putting his name beside his brother Pat in the record books as a Super Sportsman feature winner. Ron Janney wound up second with Frankie Herr third.
First career win, how's it feel?
It feels great. We work so hard on this car every week like all these guys do, and it just, week after week, sometimes you feel like you're doing everything wrong and you need some luck every once in a while. We finally got it.
It's hard to believe the fairgrounds at Kutztown is into its fourth year already. The park, like Quarter Mile, features the legends, and brand new this year, a Tobias contribution to the small car circuit, the Slingshots. For open wheel fans, the micro sprints present a field of at least 30 and sometimes exceeding 50. Large crowds turn out for the short season here at the midweek mecca of small car madness. Pete Skias on his side. Steve Buckwalter over, but not out. Our feature race for the lead. Phil Weinsteiger, 55, is being challenged by the 4 of David Utt with the number 1 of Keith Wetzel close behind. Utt just got to the front when we have a caution for a tangle in turn 2. The restart puts Weinsteiger back in front. Now Utt catches a tire marker as Wetzel sets sail. It's Keith Wetzel from Ole becoming the 6th different winner in the 7 micro features here at the fairgrounds this season. Brett Arndt finished second with Scott McCann third.
August 4th, 26 410 sprinters are in heat race competition at Williams Grove. The night gets off to a bad start for Danny Jones. Chris Ace is very much back in the Miller Chevrolet E&G Classic 17, taking the lead on a restart from Mike Wagner after starting 5th.
Chris to the bottom, looking for the lead off 4. He's got it.
Chris becomes the 12th different 410 winner here this year over Wagner and Lance DeWeese. 49 358 sprints are here at the Grove tonight, and the only wing damage is to Bill Fantasy in this 4th turn skirmish.
Trouble in turn number 4. A couple of cars getting together in turn number 4.
Ray Miller in the 59 led for 8 laps. Doug Esch, number 6, will lead lap 9.
Esch around the dog trot by Green. He's in second. Esch make a bid at the lead this time. He goes to the high side, challenging Miller in turn number 4. Miller will lead the lap. Doug Esch looking for the lead in turn number 1. And he's got it off the second corner. Doug Esch in the 6. He is taking the lead.
Usually when Doug gets in front, the race is over. But Danny Jones is really hooked up tonight in the F&M Auto Body, Tim Wilbur Contractors, number 88. After starting back in 10th, Jones makes the winning pass on the 16th lap. Todd Reed would finish second with Darren Ace third after Esch faded to fifth with a tire problem.
What a night! Out of the ballpark and into victory lane in the same night. How about it?
Yeah, isn't that something? I don't want to be doing that every week. It hurt a little bit. I was a little dizzy, but Dan gave up his car. Just try to get some track time. We're going to run that car tomorrow night, switch motors and switch a bunch of things. So I got to thank Newcomers Truck Parts for that deal. And what can I say about the Strasbourg car? I dedicate this one to Terry Delininger. These guys, you know, they were great friends. I was a good friend with Terry, and it's just a shame what happened. But it's pretty neat that the Strasbourgs are still racing, and I'm sure that's what Terry would want.
The next night at Lincoln produces more problems for Danny Jones in the number 99. Danny is not alone, as the tight turns here usually produce lots of contact. That's Al DeAngelis on his side. Chris H. has to be careful with his knee. August 5th is the 9th Fred Raymer win of the Lincoln season. Tonight, the Hamilton 77 blast underneath the 7 of Jeremy Trout on the 14th lap. Raymer started 12th. Jesse Wentz would move into second at the end, with Trout hanging on for third. 42 limited sprints join the 28 410s here tonight. We expect she won't be lonely for long. Brian Buckwater catches the wall as the 358s are up to their usual Lincoln tricks. Roland Snyder of Carlisle tears up a wing. Red Run's Elmer Stoltzfus parks at an angle. Maryland's Danny Warwick runs into Dwayne Smith. Watch this move by the number 8 of Daring Dan Dietrich. The veteran goes straight from 4th to 1st, past Bob Camilli, 34, Tracy Templin, 15, and Todd Reed, 80.
3 cars battle for the lead. 4 cars, and Dan Dietrich goes from 4th to 1st.
But Doug Ash, number 6, is doing the Lincoln Fast Freddy. That means coming all the way from 12th to win. Dougie would lead from lap 8 on.
He's got it. Dietrich's going to try to regain the lead. Can't hang on.
Dietrich finished second with Darren Ace third.
Thank you very much. I just keep trying to get these wins underneath my belt. One of these 410 teams will pick me up and have me drive their race car. It'd be a little cheaper on my pocket, but
I think there's a bunch of 358 drivers that are going to go out and do some ride hunting for you.
The Thunder cars were spectacular tonight. Sheldon Kleinfelder escapes injury after a stuck throttle.
Has problems. We want everyone to clear that site.
The striped wall of the Kutztown Fairgrounds supplies the perfect backdrop for this exhibition by the Atlantic Coast Oldtimers. The clean lines and simple beauty of the vintage racers leaves many of us old-timers shaking our heads that even the micro sprints here in the East have to have wings. Probably none of the drivers of yesteryear would have survived if they had raced in the slam bank style so common today. Lane Sadler takes a spill in turn 4. August 9th was a special moment at the fairgrounds as Mike Miller in the 00 leads his own daughter across the finish in a 1-2 sweep of the feature event.
There's a checker, Mike Miller in for the win. Michelle finishes second.
Hopefully, Mike will let Michelle win the next time, as she certainly is the more photogenic. What do you say, Mike?
Yeah, she's only been running 250s this year, and she's been doing probably better than I have lately, and it's more gratifying her getting second than me winning, honestly. And she's going to be the other way soon, her winning and me getting second. So it's neat.
August 11th, 31 410 super sprinters are at Williams Grove. A welcome back to James Chesson. Hurricane Mike Waters is leading the Consi.
Michael gaining real estate on the leader. Waters tags all, slips over in turns 3 and 4.
Red is out.
The feature greens with Mark Smith in orange, leading, hoping for his first 410 win.
That's Mike Wagner and Fred Raymer. We're going to wind them up and turn them loose right now. The green is back out. Lap number 3 is underway as Smith spins in turn number 4.
But the Super Sportsman Division's heaviest right foot falls back on a restart. Chris Ace, 17, is the new leader. Lap 10, Ace gives up the lead to the Beam 88 of Millerstown's Todd Schaefer. Ace finished second with Fred Raymer third. Mr. Excitement is always a good interview.
One of the early race restarts, Mark Smith did a 360 down there, and everyone was able to get by. That was a close call for a lot of guys.
Well, we just missed them, and I don't even know who. Somebody and I touched, and we both sort of left off together, and I think it might have been early maybe, and kept from tearing each other up. And I come down the front stretch here about half out of the gas, and knew there was going to be a big pileup. I don't know how he did it, but he must have kept her going.
Todd, it looked like this car was real fast tonight. You guys found some speed in this.
Yeah, we found some. They got it away from Outlaw Slick here and got a little racy, and you can race. I was hoping at 69 to get up there and try and trade a little paint with us tonight.
Todd with his daughter Celine. 38 358s will trade some paint at the Grove tonight. Joe Ild crashes with Bill Albright and the rail during a heat race, and just into the rail during the feature. Of course, the front stretch at Williams Grove is becoming known as the crash stretch. No Fantasy is okay, but will have quite a delay. With the 20-lapper finally progressing, T.J. Stutz, who has a Cars win on the season, opens a big lead. This relatively minor tangle becomes significant as it sets up the 14th lap restart that hosts the winning pass by Doug Esch, number 6. The 11 of Stutz held on to second with Darren East third. Dougie started 12th. August 12th, very aggressive driving Port Royal style during the Cars Eastern Limited Sprint Challenge. Begs the question, who's going to be the first to sail straight off to Mars? Eric Metzger caught a tire during tough qualifying with a total of 43 sprinters showing no fear. Midget standout Doug Borger has switched to the sprinters this year. The motor rules apparently give an advantage to the ELS, with home track status, of course, helping Cars. It looked pretty even from here. Dave Gable continues a very rough season. Dan Dietrich is back in the winner's circle, leading every lap, with ELS's Dan Kazabinski second and Chad Layton third. How did it go, Dan?
How it go? It went pretty good. You know, everything kind of went my way, so I'm pretty happy with that.
The most interesting series continues with 35 survivors at Selinsgrove the next night, August 13th. Roland Snyder has heat race problems. A close call on the front stretch. Due to the border war nature, the features were started heads up. Cars star Brian Buckwalter from Royersford leads from the front. The massive battle for second thins out after veteran Kramer Williamson spins into the rail. The war for second continues nonetheless, as Chad Layton in the blue U1 battles it out with the red and white number 20 of Dan Kazabinski. This lasted until lap 20, when Dan braked for a lapped car while Chad does not. Everyone is okay. Count to 10, Chad. It's Buckwalter over Kazabinski and Jimmy Nace.
That was a heck of a race out there tonight. I'll tell you what, we're running this challenge series against these ELS guys.
They got anywhere from 80 to 100 more horsepower than us. They got unlimited compression and all. And we got a luck of the draw today. Started second, won our heat. Got to start on the pole in the feature, which really helped, but that makes it really tough, and the track was just in excellent shape tonight.
And Port Royal is in excellent shape for their Thursday night special, August 17th. Fred Raymer leads the 23-car feature field, but the Middlesworth number 7 of Keith Kaufman is putting on the pressure.
Underneath to retake the lead.
Tire problems. First for Brett Romano, who loses one. And now our leader, as the Hamilton 77 has a flat.
Keep your eye on Todd Schaefer and Lance DeWeese. Here comes Schaefer with a racer from the outside now. Switch to the inside.
Kaufman leads over Todd Schaefer, 88, but here comes the yellow Haas 88 of Lance DeWeese. It's another of Lance's many career Superman efforts after he started dead last.
Lance DeWeese, here comes DeWeese to the inside and Schaefer. He'll take over the runner-up spot.
DeWeese is into second on the 19th lap. A lap later, tire problems catch up to Kaufman as Lance roars on to his 6th Port Royal feature win of the season over Todd Schaefer and Shawn Michael. Lance started in the rear due to an accident during his heat race. The Super Sportsmen are 30 cars strong for their annual port appearance. Donnie Beaver 10 takes the lead from the yellow car of Matt Ondeck. Back in the pack, we have some contact as Dave Ort pulls into the pit lane with no need of any kind of entrance. Ken Carberry of Levittown in his green 47 takes first away from the Beaver on the 13th go-round. Ken will go on to lead Beaver and Mark Smith across the finish.
And now, a battle for the lead as Carberry puts the pressure on Beaver on the outside.
Carberry started 12th. Add that to Lance's 22 positions advanced, and you have 34 cars passed by 2 winning drivers tonight at the racy Port Royal Speedway. August 19th, Brian Buckwalter's fortunes take a turn for the worse as cars is 27 strong at New Jersey's Bridgeport Speedway. Rookie Kevin Welsh, number 18 from Far Hills here in the Garden State, scores his first career win over Kevin Drury and Gary Gullum. August 19th, Fred Raymer 77 picks up his 12th Lincoln win of the season and 96th career with this pass of race-long leader Bobby Weaver in the letter X on the 23rd of the 25 laps. Chris H. followed Weaver across the line at the finish. Having started at Port Royal, Kids Nights are becoming a very popular attraction during the racing season at several tracks, including here at Lincoln. The field of 33 is the season high for the ARDC Midgets, who took it off tonight. A wild ride for Brian Kobalars on the second lap of the feature. That's Buddy Baker and Fred Schell also involved. Everyone is okay. If Central PA fans weren't so 410 phobic, ARDC at Lincoln could be that catalyst wingless event. Mike Roselli, 98, races the lead away from Craig Rochelle in the yellow car. Ed Steinley, number 6 from McVeytown, and Roselli race side by side for first for several laps later in the event. That's Donnie Trent and Ray Bull in pursuit of the lead duel. Fred Schell has suffered a series of problems entering turn 1 here at Lincoln over the past several years. Fred saved it this time. Up front, Steinley opens up a lead as Roselli crosses up and drops behind several front runners. More first turn entrance problems for Fred, and this time he does not save it. Fred's okay in the crash, which occurred with 2 laps to go. More problems up front, with Donnie Trent riding onto Ray Bull, leaving A.J. Ernesto with nowhere to go. The race is restarted with 1 lap to go. Walt Steerley, 42, will challenge leader Steinley with Roselli back up to third under Ron Grader's checker. What a show.
Yeah, I tell you, Walt, I appreciate he gave me plenty of room over here coming off number 2, and I appreciate that. He could have squeezed me out right there, and I knew he was going to throw a slider on me down here. I thought, well, I'll let him do it.
Over at the Spring, Leroy Martin in the Reddinger's Auto Body 66 ups the winner's list to 13. Here passing John Stamen for the lead on the 15th lap. The Denver native bested a field of 54 super sportsmen tonight, and it's his 6th career Silver Spring win. August 25th, USAC makes its most eastern appearance for the year. It doesn't get racier than wingless on the tacky clay at Attica, Ohio. 24 racers use every groove below the high-banked rim and sometimes beyond. Jay Drake in the dark-colored number 67 on the outside is working the first position from the 66 of Tony Elliott. Dave Darland is the only flip victim of the night after tangling with his own teammate, Bill Rose. Meanwhile, Drake takes the Kuntz Willoughby car on for his 10th win in the last 13 USAC dirt shows. Elliott finished second with Derek Davidson third. At home, the Gumout Series is back at Williams Grove, where Skip Jackson will suffer one of the season's hardest hits after blowing a tire in time trials.
Trouble, Skip Jackson hard.
Skip sat out a month to heal up. The feature will be led the whole way by front row starters Chris A17 and Californian Paul McMahon in the blue United Express Lines car. But they'll switch a couple of times. Here they swap in turn 1 before Chris leads down the backstretch. The feature took almost as long as the time trials for the 41 cars, with the first of 3 reds thrown for Shawn Michael, whose racer reared up in turn 2. Once again, Todd Schaefer finds himself cut off from help by fellow racers who keep driving past under red. Fortunately, Todd takes care of himself, and now the fire crew has to deal with a burning and coasting race car. The final red is for Californian Jason Myers, who takes a ride down the crash stretch. Another view of the high-speed spill. Up front, Ace has tire problems, and McMahon is back in front. DeWeese will also pass Ace for second. So the Woe 2 guys beat the posse, and they didn't even need a format change.
You're not too happy, are you?
Oh, no, I mean, ever since I came out on the road in '96, there's 3 racetracks I want to win at. One's Williams Grove, Knoxville, and Eldora, and, I finally got one here. And, I mean, just the history behind this racetrack, and Mike Cool just gave me an awesome race car tonight. I mean, this guy's been around for a long time around Pennsylvania, and, we've been struggling here. I mean, if we crashed a car at Knoxville, got a little foot injury there at Grand Forks, and then come back tonight, and, he found a couple things, made a few changes on the race car, and it was great.
Saturday night. Last night's crashers, Shawn Michael and Jason Myers, lead a heat as the Woo 2 Series continues at Port Royal. But a flat tire sets up another bad night for Michael. Dave Hahn flips after bumping the inside rail and getting rooted by Perone Reisner. Pole sitter Craig Delansky, number 7, led for 6 laps until a torsion bar broke, stopping the red racer on turn 4. Another of those fast Californians is Brad Furr in the red number 2. Brad now leads until Upper Co Maryland's Jeff Shepard in the Les Stewart-owned number 4 moves past among heavy lap traffic on the 21st of the 30 laps. Jason Myers moved up to second at the end over Lance DeWeese, with Furr finishing 4th.
Well, Jeff, we want to congratulate you on a big feature win here this evening.
Yeah, it's always good to come back here to a place you won your first race at. I'm kind of a lot older now than I was then, but it's always a lot of fun to come back to a place with all the regular fans wearing my shirts and saying hi and all that stuff and hospitality. I just want to thank everybody for coming out the track, for putting on the show, and I'm glad to be standing here.
Hello, Silver Spring announcer old-timer Jack Frazier. Something about the spring always puts us in a good mood. Maybe it's those French fries, almost all you can eat for $1.25. Or maybe it's the great view of all the action. Hey, it's the racing stupid with 61 super sportsmen in the pits. Mark Smith tries the outside of a slipping competitor, but the rail gets in the way. Jim Shuttlesworth will not qualify. Feature time. Team cars of Aaron Gurrell and Glenn Keller battle for first. Give the edge to rookie Aaron. Just behind the leader, the race for second goes 3 wide as Keith Klutzman in red and Ken Carberry in green make it a Merry Christmas in August for the fans. Lap 7. Klutzman's number 28 into the lead. Ken Carberry, who started 9th, is about to move into second. On the 9th lap, Mark Smith suddenly gets on top of Aaron Gurrell, stacking up several cars in the front stretch. Dave Berkheimer was among those restarting on the rear, and now the green necessitates another good save by Dave. Klutzman and Carberry 47 go at it side by side for first until Carberry pulls away a little on the 15th circuit. Klutzman will finish second over John Stoner. Here, winner Ken Carberry gets a lathe of lottery tickets from the Wise Guy after his second spring win of the season and third of the Sportsman Tour. Cars lives up to its name again tonight at the Spring, bringing a field of 40. Chuck Wild also lives up to his name. Mike Cragen is over and out. But the roughest night was that of Daring Dan Dietrich, nearly clearing turn 3 after running over Rusty Presley during a heat race. And then crashing in the same spot during the Consi. Believe it or not, it will still be a good night for the veteran. In the feature, Rusty Presley led for 6 laps until Billy Dietrich, doing a little better job in a high groove than his dad, moves past. Billy's first win came only after he tagged a lap car which spun directly in the path of second-place running Presley.
Welcome to Victory Lane.
Oh, it feels good to be here. Been close a couple times, but I got it done tonight.
You certainly did. I mean, you got out front there. I saw you were using all the track.
Yeah, I kind of set up to run the top. I got into the lap car down there. I got to try to get underneath of it. I got into him, set him around. That was just my mistake, but once we got going, I felt pretty good up top there.
Well, you sure did look good. Where's the team from?
We're from Aspers there, here in Pennsylvania. Of course, we've been around quite a while.
Corey Haas finished second with Jake Rodabaugh third.
I don't know why that other guy.
Rusty Presley will again be a star player as Cars begins Grandview Thunder on the Hill. Up feature from a previous rainout. Rusty's silver-colored number 5 leads at the start. Lyndon Mathias trashes a wing.
Third into 7-star of Brian Eichelberger.
The second of the 20 laps, and Kevin Welsh in his similar-colored number 18 is the new leader.
Here's Welsh to the inside. Welsh to the inside is now Kevin Welsh. Welsh grabbing the new race lead. Here's Presley back to the outside.
Lap 15, it's still Welsh leading, but Chad Layton has moved into second when Welsh bounces off a lapped car and crashes in turn 1. Luckless Rusty Presley gets caught in the wedge and takes an even harder hit. Chad Layton in the U1 United car leads to the finish over Brad Eichelberger and Dale Hammaker.
Norway's Unlimited Cars Sprint Car Feature event on a turn number 4 of the U1 car, Chad Layton.
32 cars sprints competed in regular qualifying for the second 20-lapper. Chip Brown, who is a regular in the new Bridgeport, New Jersey Limited Sprint Division, just wants to see the video. Dan Richcreek, number 80, leads the second car's feature until spinning harmlessly in turn 3. Nate Snyder in the black 56 is now in front, but here comes the yellow 93 of Scott Kirchner in the high group. Scott will be scored leader of lap 7. Ryan Buckwalter can be seen bouncing off the back chute boilerplate before crashing hard in turn 3 to bring out a lap 9 red. Chad Layton is back for more, jumping underneath Kirshner right on the restart on his way to 2 wins in one night. Consistent Dale Hammaker would finish second, with Kirshner hanging on to third.
Up in the number 1 spot. Here's Kirshner back down the back straightaway, side by side. Kirshner will try and rebound to the outside part of the speedway. Layton, the United Express line, U1 out of the wheel. He's in the number
How about the track surface, Chad?
Yeah, the track's really nice. Of course, after the supers run off, they blow it off a good bit, but we get the car hooked up. It's just like racing on a heavy surface.
The 40-lap All-Star feature was relatively simple. Keith Kaufman led 30 laps from the front until 5th place starter Chris A. 17 made this winning pass. Lance DeWeese finished third. The King of the Hill paycheck will be worth $6,000 for completely hilled Chris. Lincoln's September 2nd Bobby Abel Memorial is 30 laps. Johnny Mackison 65 after starting 9th, and 12th place starter Fred Raymer meet at the front with 3 laps to go. It's Mackison over Chris H. and Steve Siegel.
Yeah, it worked out pretty good. Fred Raymer's the best there is here, and he got by me and I didn't try to do that. It was just strictly racing. We were running hard. I was trying to put as much ground between us as I could, and just one of them things. I feel bad, but she's been probably about 7 years since won a race, and it feels good.
Much improved Danny Warwick, 56, leads the 358 feature. 43 limited's pit side.
The 3 and 4 race for the lead. Halfway there. Warwick and Stamball.
Eric Stamball, 4, appears to be making the pass, but a red for a spill by Bob Camilli will restart Warwick in front. Derek knows what to do and has the motor to do it.
In front of Warwick, he's got the race lead. There was 1 to go. Stamball and Esch.
The final lap, Stamball still leads, but here comes the number 6 of Doug Esch. A spinning lapped car comes into play, and Stamball leads Todd Reed and Chris Ash across the finish as Dougie has front end and wing damage.
I want to say thanks to Jeff. He builds an awesome engine. He's a wizard at setting up the car, and he's got Johnny flying, and he's got me going fast too. I really appreciate it. I got to thank the rest of the crew too: Roy, Brian, Scott, Aaron, my dad, Mike, and hope I didn't forget anybody. The whole crew and everybody that supports those guys, all the women that are behind them, and all the good food they give us to here to eat. We really appreciate it.
The United Racing Club brings 38 360-powered sprinters to Selinsgrove on September 3rd. Scott Purcell, number 1, leads as Bill Bryan stuffs the third turn trouble spot. Kurt Michael, now in the Palladino-owned number 99, closes in on Purcell. Todd Rittenhouse Jr. brings out another caution. Now it's a red for Matt Gerber. In the end, it's Ocean View, Delaware's Michael over Purcell and Mike Hagenbottom.
So what do you think about the return to Selinsgrove Speedway? They're pretty fast out there today.
Oh, the track was perfect. I mean, I love this place. I came up here last year with the 07 and we finished second to Raymer. I usually seem to go pretty good here. I just, maybe someday we'll be back again in a 410.
I'm sure we'll have you back. Congratulations, Kurt. We're going to try to keep things moving along here with the rain. Congratulations.
I'd like to just thank all the fans for coming out, and I think you really need to have some more URC shows because it was a heck of a show.
The Port Royal Labor Day Classic is part of the Juniata County Fair. We celebrate the 50th edition of our very favorite event in beautiful weather. The Feldy clan is among those keeping memories alive, certainly very appropriate today. The late models are part of the show.
As Haas back there riding in the fist ball. We got a car crossed up on the front stretch. And Scott's looking upside down.
With fans and racers alike, 37 sprinters take to the traditional dust storm in front of the giant crowd. If we ever saw a terrible crash that didn't happen, it's certainly this. Even the man upstairs must be a classic fan. Dave Ely, now steady driver of the Weicker 29, spins, as will Mark Smith. Troy Weitzel has nowhere to go, winding up on his side. Even at Old Port Royal, things are changing a little around the edges. The yellow cars of Len Thompson, number 10, and Lance DeWeese, 88, lead the field early in the 30-lap feature. Back in the pack, Todd Schaefer contacts Mike Walters while trying to stay in front of Fred Raymer. Todd recovers, but the pack seems to remain out of shape, and Timmy Kuhn winds up showing the 07 of Mike Lutz derailed. Here's a close-up of the impact that found Mike setting the next weekend out with a stiff neck, etc. Len Thompson was among several having tire problems, forcing the early race leader to the rear of the pack. So up front, it's Lance DeWeese home first for his third win in the Classic. Veterans Keith Kaufman and Todd Schaefer followed Lance. It's time to pull those safety belts even tighter. We begin our most extensive nationwide crash segment yet with help from Michigan Steve Bennett at Prime Tracks Video. Sprint cars in trouble at Crystal Raceway.
Holy cow!
Veteran midget racer Mel Kenyon heads for the trees at Berlin Speedway.
Holy cow, man!
A late model fillet at Hartford.
We got a crash.
Leaving with a twist at Crystal. Ray Malin pounds the Berlin wall. Denny Anderson rides the cement. Dave Lewis presents a thrill show. We wind up Steve's segment with a couple more spectaculars.
Holy cow!
Oh yes, the sacred hostings come courtesy of our producer himself.
Holy cow! Look at this! Holy cow! Look at that! Right on top of the car!
After taking a year off for one of those getting my life back together deals, Mark Meeks is back with thrills and spills from the wild, wild west. Ricky Johnson on the Manzanita, Arizona half-mile. Dan Olson flips at Thunder Raceway near Show Low, Arizona. The hard midget flip on the short track at Manson. Jimmy Norman flips his sprint at Canyon, Arizona. Rick Henriksen flips on the second turn at Paris, California. Back at Manzanita, an unidentified SCOA sprinter is out for the night. SCRA action at Manzi. That's Lee Brewer Jr. The flip on the front stretch at Canyon. Mike Leslie on the Manzi short track. Or is he? Jim Kalawaizi endos his mini sprint. Bob Ellis's midget looks like a white tornado. Alex Gregogoris and Vern Sweeney in SCRA action on the half. Arizona needs more drivers with names like Tony Jones. Another SCRA spill. An IMCA sprinter loses its balance at Ventura, California. Winged action on the Manzanita half. Andy Hellenberg. Dale Blaney. Somebody peeks over the third turn 10. Jay Burns gets off relatively easy. Steve Baker flips 6 times in wingless quarter-mile action. Hank Winters in the fence. Dan Olson over a wheel and over the edge. Rob Davis. Modifieds get in on the Manzi act. Dwight Cheney makes a Paris pit stop. Gary Wright, as will Travis Whitney. Both leave their mark on the Manzi 10. Amazing finale. Greg Higgins tosses all fiberglass before stopping in a takeoff position on the quarter mile. (8:20 a.m. New Year's Day. The first flip of the new millennium is Mike Giggett at the Tulsa Expo Micro Shootout, recorded by Brian Thompson. Brian begins his annual contribution of Up and Over Carnage indoors at Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Silvergate Center in Toledo, plus the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. That's our own Mike Deisley, number 44, recovering from a spill to score a win at Tulsa. To increase the thrills, ambitious Brian regularly cohorts as many friends into being assistant cameramen. When we get back outdoors, Brian's clips will be blended with those of fellow Midwest producer, steady-handed Candy Baker. Our distaff provider is married to a racing photographer, but on rare occasions when hubby Steve prefers a quiet evening at home baking candy, Candy Baker has been known to get in the car and drive herself to a favorite track. Both Brian and Candy sacrifice the see-all comfort of the grandstand in their effort to capture some of the more dramatic footage in all of racing, and they do so out of their love of the sport, and at most a free pit pass. We ensure you that all scenes in the Across the Fruited Plain are of walk-away, or as Mike Harker would say, wobble-away crashes. Candy and Brian supply us blow-by-blow descriptions as we pick up at Midget Racing's premier event, the Chili Bowl.
Travis Wellpot on his side. And speaking of famous names, that's Indianapolis Motor Speedway President Tony George in number 3. Critter Malone stalls in front of Ricky Shelton, resulting in this aerial. Jerry March from Monkey Island, Oklahoma. Ryan Harville after catching a tire. Al Damasio flips on the concrete barrier. Bill Shamonia hits the wall in turn 1 and gets on his head. John Sorrell runs over Corey Wyant and does a once-over. P.J. Jones sizes up Matt Westfall and flips hard into the fence. Jimmy Squires bends the frame after entering a little hard. John Heidenreich gets over a wheel and does a complete after hitting the first turn wall. Gary Wright here too flipping hard after mishandling the cushion while running second. Travis Rowlett prepares for takeoff as he attempts to exit the Chili Bowl. A final moment indoors as Shane Hollingsworth brings out the red without even stopping at Indianapolis's RCA Dome.
In Illinois, they're called modified midgets instead of micro sprints, but their style is similar. This is Marion. 12-year-old Kaylee Garst was coming to the front at 67 Speedway in Godfrey. Tessa Wizard flips on the quarter mile at Tri-City. Ray Horn flips down the back chute at Jacksonville. Modified where-do you go style action at DuQuoin.
Wing sprint cars. John Hillman flips at St. Charles, Missouri, a track we are told is about to be dismantled. And now over at St. Francis, Missouri, Brad Martin gets shown the wall.
Kevin Horker has his ladder at the right spot as Lance Gullo flips at I-55, Missouri.
Tri-City Speedway in Granite City, Illinois. Canadian Jimmy Carter backs hard into turn 1 guardrail. Mike Goodman flips for the second time tonight.
Ron Chaney gets over a tire.
Eddie Lynch rides one out at Jacksonville during weekly sprint car competition. Action from 67 Speedway in Godfrey, Illinois. Patrick Booty leaves early. The always exciting Little Joe Houck flips after hitting the third turn rail.
Those who say racing wingless is more dangerous are probably right. But if you look up the race drivers as the bravest of daredevils, then these are your main dudes, bar none. While viewing this 50s footage of cageless sprinters, wingless advocates seem well within their rights. Even the more militant who have no place for the term wingless sprint car. To them, there is real race cars and there's winged cars. Midgets here in the Indiana traditionalist stronghold are always wing-free. Lincoln Park, Putnamville, Indiana. Joe Justice flips in turn 1. Brian Gerster also flips his USAC midget at the end of the front stretch. Bill Bow spins in front of Andy Pierce as Aaron Pierce piles in, resulting in this double.
Later, Dennis LaCava gets over a wheel entering turn 1 and heads for the skies. New Zealander Michael Kendall into the wall, resulting in a series of rolls. Matt Westfall is another victim of the fourth turn berm during the 5 Crown Series here at Lincoln Park. Sarah McCune and Ryan Scott do a double in turn 2. Rick Bowen is another victim of that fourth turn berm. Jacksonville, Illinois. Jack Gerber will take a moment to figure out where he is after this hard flip during Mara competition. Hello, Kevin Doty.
Terre Haute, Indiana, also known as the Action Track. Aaron Pierce hauls it in on a slick surface.
Travis Thompson drifts high in turn 1. Jeff McLeod spins and things get a little worse in turn 1 at Terre Haute. Mike Hess rides over Winston Cup star Tony Stewart at Pebbly, Missouri's I-55 Speedway while battling for the lead during Mara Midget competition.
USAC's behemoth Silver Crown dirt cars are another reason we envy Midwesterners as they tackle the big 1-mile dirt tracks.
Randy Bateman can't get his car turned either and gives the new concrete a test. Rod Holzhauser backs the Galis dirt car into turn 1 at DuQuoin with little success. Indiana State Fairgrounds, the Galis car, again this time with Kerry Foss at the wheel. That's Eastern Modified star Tom Capey trying his hand with the dirt cars and missing the groove. The hardest to keep on an even keel are the overpowered sprint cars. Unlike wing cars, the faster you go, the easier it is not. Marcellus Kronk at St. Francis, Missouri. Scott Campbell at Red Hill Raceway in Sumner, Illinois.
Paris, California and SCRA. That was Paul Tiedrick.
Brad Knopfsinger, one of the veterans from Ascot and the old CRA. A close-up of Tom Downing. Tony Jones. Rusty McClure and Jay Drake all dump here at what is affectionately known as the Pass.
The SCRA and no wings at Knoxville. Jerry Crabb forgot he didn't have his during warm-ups. Cameraman Brian ensures us the track surface is wet and fast. The feature is over, but Corey Kruzman puts a hurting on his sprinter on the cool-down lap. How do you explain this to the car owner?
It's raining sprint cars at Bloomington, Indiana. Kelly Potter clipped a tire marker. Greg Gillen gets bounced around the back chute after also clipping an infield tire marker. Derek Scheffel flips on the backstretch following a tangle. Danny Williams flips hard in turn 3.
Eric Burns slows on the start, but second-generation racer Billy Puterball missed the yellow, resulting in this series of endos. Winchester's Indiana High Banks tower above one of the oldest racetracks in the world. This was 1956. Today the cages are on and the grass cushion is gone, but still USAC's bravest think nothing of racing dirt one day and here on the paved hills the next. Bobby Adamson misjudges the exit of turn 2 and pounds the wall. Billy Puterball in trouble in the backstretch during warm-ups.
Lincoln Park, Troy Link flips after running over Bud Katie. Jonathan Bernard flips over the banking in turn 1. Second generation Dickie Gaines flips trying to avoid a tangle in turn 1. Greg Dillon catches the inside berm and gets a tap from his teammate Eric Burns. Brian Walters finds a rut in turn 4 at Lincoln Park. Tri-City, Illinois. Kevin Doty flips over the rail during hot laps. Kokomo, Indiana. Justin Marble bicycles into a nasty flip. Bob Williams gets punted into a flip in turn 4. Larry Bontrager flips after hooking the first turn crater. Tom Davies plows in, giving Larry a severe shaking up. Finally at Coke, Dave Darlin flips after contact with J.J. Yaley. USAC meets SCRA at Terre Haute. Lance Gremmett catches Ricky Shelton's right rear before leaving the park. A.J. Boger gets together with Rick Hayden and barrel rolls. Andy Hurtubise is leading the last chance race until the guardrail ends his night.
Mark Freeland is a day late and $1 short as he flips his midget at Terre Haute. Tony Jones takes aim at the first turn wall.
Dave Darlin on his head after contact with a spinning car. Ricky Sheldon. Jack Hewitt spins and John Scott flips after having no place to go. Todd Kane takes 8 3/4 rolls down the Terre Haute front stretch into turn 1 at the start of the feature. Tri-State Speedway in Hobstadt, Indiana. Cale Medler goes over the wall before hitting a van, crossing a road and a ditch, landing in a bean field. He raced again later that night.
Bud Kading is coming through, as Derek Scheffel finds out here, on the wettest and best weekly racing surface our Midwesterners have found. Don Gentry loses control, collecting Bud Kading and Cale Medler, number 56, resulting in this triple.
Another look at this motherlode of sprint crashes at Tri-State Speedway. Eldora has always been a staple for USAC. When you tangle wheels wingless here, a slow roll or a flop over is a luxury enjoyed by precious few. That's Bill Rose. Brian Walters spins in front of Eric Shively in hot laps. A similar situation during heat competition as Tim Clark flips over Brian Tyler. Here comes Jim Mills after hitting the wall way back near the end of the back chute. Nick Neighbor backs her in, collecting Derek Davidson and Jonathan Bernard.
The IMCA stock cars mix it up during the spectacular Eldora 4 Crown Nationals.
As will the Silver Crown dirt cars, Ricky Sheldon.
Racing's big challenge is to outpace your fellow drivers. But in addition, wingless sprints and midgets are quite a handful just to keep under control. This is most evident in time trials. The following makes a dramatic study both in sight and sound as Rick Henderson, Dan Hilberg, Brian Billings, Bill Boggs, Buddy Cunningham, Corey Smith, Casey Kane, Kevin Thomas, Jeff Wilson, and Tim Stillwell all get on their heads flying solo.
Trouble for Kevin Thomas coming out of turn 2.
Traveling east, the first friendly voice you might hear might be that of Jim Murdoch. Jim is official track videographer at New Egypt, New Jersey, Little Bridgeport, New Jersey, and Jim recently became a big fan of rumble strips while making the weekly 6-hour one-way trip to Thunder Road, Vermont.
Oh, look out, forget it, it's all over now. Oh, Curtis is in the fence. Oh! Red flag is out!
Hi, this is Big Jim from Big Jim's Videos. We start out by looking at microsprint action from Little Bridgeport Speedway, a fast quarter-mile located on the inside of the big track. Here, Gary Wagle breaks in his brand new 600cc micro. Eddie Towers in the dwarf car sets the new flip record at 3.5. Saturday nights finds great racing at New Egypt Speedway, a wild, fast 4/10 oval located in central Jersey. Here, Jim Falzini tries a little bit too hard for that last qualifying spot. Chris Garbeck gets some hang time as he tries to make it a quarter mile. Mickey Kessler became the first driver to win a motocross event, asphalt modified event, and dirt sports modified event, and now he becomes the first driver to flip twice in the same year.
Sandy Moore second, practically pushing on Suzanne Potts. Oh, a couple of cars squeezed off.
Believe it or not, that was Suzanne Potts, one of the Powder Puff Derby drivers. And who can forget the night Billy Pouch flipped in the heat race?
Now Rocco Infante gets a great fight on the outside. Look out, a couple cars together. Billy Pouch upside down. Billy Pouch.
And come back to pass Bobby Drayton in the feature to go on and take the victory. It's a 6-hour one-way drive for you to get to Vermont's Thunder Road, but for action like this, it's worth it. Now some sports and modified action from Grandview Speedway. Becca Anderson gets crossed up entering turn 1 at Grandview in the URC sprint cars, while Rusty Presley has his cage rattled at East Windsor Speedway in the car sprints. East Windsor Sports and Modified champion Ryan Godown earned his title the hard way. Now up to rolling wheels for Super Dirt Week sprint car action.
We were. Covered jail, worked down onto the inside.
No injuries to photographers or drivers.
Got a flipper out there.
Back at Thunder Road, Bubba Hickory launches his Flying Tiger into the styrofoam barriers. And the street stocks race with the trucks in the division known as the Crunch Bunch.
Let him go, you dirty dog. Oh, he's upside down. Car working
Back in the region for the wildest modified flip in the history of the track. Mark Bittner performs a perfect 5 barrel rolls on the front stretch. Meanwhile, lady racer Lisa Conway and Ray Revita perform a rare double street stock flip.
England's socialist order finds racing highly organized and regulated.
Oh, nice trouble down there right in front of us.
Here Mike Greenwood of Photo Stocks graces us with some of the good stuff that Jackie Stewart doesn't want to talk about. The speeds are kept down, but contact is completely legal. The meet draws giant crowds and large fields of what appear to be the world's safest open-wheel race cars. September 8th, Mike Walters is among 35 sprinters at Port Royal as Tuscarora weekend is here. Mike does his hurricane thing during qualifying. God bless Port Royal. This year they dropped the time trial sanctioning body and put up the bucks themselves. This allowed them to prepare a wet, gushy surface and bring out the heats, restoring the Tuscarora to its former luster on the fastest track in the East. Skip Jackson goes down in a feature tangle. A fourth lap restart. Todd Hester, number 7, leads over Brooke Lively and the 88 of Todd Schaefer. This lasts until turn 2 when his outhouse blows apart and Todd Schaefer leads. But the yellow flag was thrown to pick the junk off the track, and Wadley restarts in front. Jeff Shepard, number 4, started 10th, and an impressive drive puts the Stewart car in front. Shepard led until lap 20 when the number 4 appeared to be hesitating. Port Point champ Lance DeWeese, 88, shoots past for the $4,000 win. Shepard finished second with Schaefer third.
When you come off of third 2 and seen the 4J make the bobble, it didn't take you long to duck underneath.
No, I seen him get sideways. Actually, I thought he broke because he slowed up pretty good. Then I seen him get back on it, and I knew if I get by him, I thought I could hold him off. I don't know if we pulled away or not, but I knew I probably could hold him off. But I tell you what, that one time the caution lights got flicked on, man, I thought we were all going to wreck them because some of us slowed up, some of us didn't, and we ran like a lap like that, didn't know if the caution was out or not, and then the caution did come out, so it kind of let everybody get back in a rhythm.
A big change is scheduled for Port Royal next season, an afternoon press conference. Fair Board President Buzzy Howard.
It was a tough decision to make. The board members and myself, all 20 of us, came down and sat on the grandstand one night to talk about this. And a lot of us have a lot of fond memories of coming to races and sitting on that grandstand like I know a lot of you people do.
Board member Sue Pontius and Republican State Representative Dan Clark teamed up in a heroic effort garnering funding for a new safe and functional grandstand. Saturday night's the big one. A great field, a great crowd, 36 sprints, and a tacky track. Tyrone Reisner will not qualify. Fred Raymer 77 did start on the pole for the Tuscarora 50, but led only 7 laps when Lance DeWeese thrilled the Port Royal Loyalist with this pass of the Lincoln Dominator in lap traffic. The race continues. Lap 15. Fast Freddy is back.
Lance DeWeese at Fred Raymer. DeWeese high on the high side. Fred Raymer down low, took back in behind DeWeese. DeWeese Raymer once again trying to pull on side of the race leader DeWeese.
Freddie's win was worth over 10 grand.
This
fair week up here with the atmosphere at Port Royal and the fair going on. There's no race we run all year that seems more like a race. It's just a neat atmosphere, a lot of nice people, and obviously a lot of fan support. When I drove by, I could tell they were enthused for a Lincoln guy to come up here. But we enjoy racing up here. I'll tell you, these guys, I don't know if I could run here weekly because they really zip around here. It's a really nice track.
It was Raymer over Todd Schaefer and Shawn Michael. DeWeese finished 4th after a flat tire. A final look from the historic grandstand as Steve Campbell wins the late model feature. September 19th is Triple 20s night and Williams Grove's Jack Gunn Memorial. Course A 17 takes the lead away from James Chesson in the first feature, leading until a flat tire allowed Fred Raymer to win over Chesson and Keith Kaufman. Despite drawing a yellow in the second 20, leader P.J. Chesson is restarted in first as officials called the yellow their mistake.
Green at the cone. Todd to the low side, slides up in front of P.J. Can he hold it?
Todd Schaefer, 88, takes first from P.J. And now we have a red for Brooke Weibly. On the restart, Shawn Michael, number 1, is headed for his first Grove win of the season.
Todd goes to the cushion. Michael down low off 4, 16 down. Schaefer leads. Michael second. Kaufman coming in third. Shawn Michael slides in front of the leader. We got a new waves over the Zemco number 1 of Shawn Michael.
With 30 cars on hand, the third 20-lapper pays $5,000 to win.
There's the green. Todd Schaefer takes the lead at the start. Kaufman slides up in front of Schaefer, takes the lead. Raymer makes it look easy on the bottom.
With Raymer leading, we have a red for Mike Erdlich. On the restart, Todd Schaefer is looking strong.
Todd Schaefer takes the lead on the backstretch. Schaefer to the bottom. Raymer falls and through and catches the guardrail. Schaefer will win. The curb was so nasty. You had to be pretty careful getting in, and he got held up with somebody on the curb there, and I got a pretty good run, but I was worried he was going to fly the guy down here, and I just took a chance that he would be going when I got there. I got by. I don't know what happened up there, but I had a pretty good idea I was going to get a flyer at the other end, so I just ran her in flat out across the bottom, and tell you the truth, I didn't know that was the checkered lap. I thought that the board had said like 18 when I went by the last time, and I thought we were coming for the white, and I saw the checkered. I couldn't believe it, but it was a great one. Fred and I are pretty good buddies, and I think when you're buddies like that, you race each other harder than you do if it's somebody you don't like.
September 20th, ARDC teams up with cars for an open wheel thriller at the new Thunder Valley Speedway, 25 windy miles west of Bedford. But the show goes on with Kevin Bastian leading the midget feature over 21 cars. A.J. Ernesto catches a rut on the extremely heavy surface. Trouble for our leader as Bastian stops on turn 2. Mike Roselli, Ray Bull, and Brian Kovalars in black look for the lead. Another red. This time it's Steve Craig over a tire in turn 4. It's Kovalars over Point Champ Bull with Roselli third in the first ARDC midget feature ever here at the beautiful and brightly lighted Thunder Valley. The Cars National Open begins with a hard flip by Corey Haas after getting over Bill Albright's tire. A Keystone Cop rescue scene here, but Corey is okay. With 42 358 sprint cars in the valley, Gary Gullub, driving the Stoltzfus 00, takes the lead with contact from Billy Dietrich on lap 6 of the 35-lapper. A lap later, the contact cost Gary a tire. Dale Hammaker, 66, catches up with Dietrich, and the race is on. Until lap 14, when Dietrich's good ride comes to an end. So Dale Hammaker picks up the 5th annual Cars Doorways Unlimited National Open over T.J. Stutz and Chad Layton. Meanwhile, back at Lincoln, it's Manufacturers Appreciation Night, and Brian Gobrecht could use a few. Fred Raymer took a $15,000 challenge offered by starting last. With less than 2 laps to go, Fast Freddy picks up his biggest paycheck ever with this pass of Chris Hicks, 17. Jesse Wentz, 3rd.
You know, the 15,000 that Hank had put up, that ain't what this is all about. This is about starting last and kicking their ass. I'll tell you, man, I have never, ever, World Outlaw All-Star, ever run that hard at Lincoln Speedway. This is racing here. This isn't just getting in line and going fast. This would be the best win I have ever had. It amazes me. I've been racing a day shorter forever, it seems. I still love the race so much it absolutely makes me sick.
September 23rd, Williams Grove. Kurt Michael comes from 6th starting spot to pass pole sitter Mark Smith, 22, on the 10th lap for his 2nd career 410 win.
I have to thank Walt Dyer, everybody on this team, for giving me a shot in this good car at the Grove. I spent all week at Walt's building this new car. It's a brand new car, first time out tonight. I made it look good.
50 358s are on hand for their Grove season-ending 25-lap championship. Adrian Schaefer spins in front of Jimmy Layton. T.J. Stutz, 11, takes first from fellow youngster Alan Crimes. But Darren Ace in the CW Fritz number 30 comes all the way from 11, spinning a donut for good measure along the way, to take the lead from Stutz on the 17th lap. Doug Esch finished 3rd, and so clinched the Williams Grove Limited Sprint Point Championship. September 24th, the Sealands Grove National Open. We just saw Fred Raymer win from last in 25 laps. Tonight, fans sat through time trials to see Fast Freddy start on the 2nd row in a 40-lapper. He has a quarter of a lap lead by turn 1.
What a wild start! Fred Raymer is driving away!
We do have some sideshow entertainment. When Lynn Thompson bumped the rail, a yellow flag wound up waving in turn 2. Only. With several racers completely off the gas, the race was allowed to continue. Most upset was Mike Walters, who wanted no part of being penalized for obeying basic safety rules. Mid-pack battling flipped P.J. Chesson. The typical time trial anti-race went to Raymer over Todd Schaefer and Johnny Mackison. Schaefer and Keith Kaufman tied for the point championship. At the same time over at Silver Spring, Chad Jumper spins out of the lead in the Super Sportsman feature. But new blood at the front continues as rookie Skip Finley in the yellow and checkered color car goes on to hold off late race challenges by veteran Donnie Beaver for a stunning upset. Brian Rupp finished 3rd. Mark Smith clinched both Super Sportsman point championships. They're the most famous drivers in the best cars, and they draw the biggest crowds in sprint car racing. But every show is not a sellout. Far from it tonight, as Hagerstown gets the bad end of a shady rain date deal on September 28th. P.J. Chesson gets the bad end after again drifting too close to the rail. Sammy Swindell starts on the front and leads every lap. Stevie Smith finished 2nd with Dale Blaney 3rd. Sammy collects $10,000 for his 9th Woo win of the season over the 39-car field. September 29th. Fred Raymer, 77, leads Steve Kinzer in Williams Grove National Preliminary Night feature action. It's lap 16, and Steve shows why he is the king of sprint car racing. One major crash marred the evening as Dale Blaney flips after hitting a spinning Dean Jacobs. After a lap 18 restart, Fast Freddie Raymer brings the giant crowd back to its feet. Raymer led under the white flag when a yellow for stalled Donnie Schatz handed the lead and win back to Kinzer. How do they do that? Posse member Donnie Kreitz finished third.
Well, I don't know, something about Williams Grove and the tracks like this, it's got a good bottom and a good top, and it just makes it's just a heck of a racetrack to have two grooves on, and anytime you get a racetrack, you either get working on the bottom, or even in this place you can work in the middle with a thing, so it makes for good racing. That's what Williams Grove's all about.
Saturday night's Open began similarly as Steve Kinzer, 11, again takes the lead away from Williams Grove point champ Raymer on the 9th of the 40 laps. But on lap 13, Kinzer tangled with lap cars and flipped on the backstretch. A 25-minute Quaker State break followed. An exciting race continues as Donnie Schatz in the Parker store number 15 is looking for his first World of Outlaw win of the season. Schatz slipped by Raymer on the inside, as does Keith Kaufman on the outside. Actually, Raymer's off his speed due to tire problems. The 77 hits the pits a couple laps later. A restart with 2 laps to go. Keith Kaufman in Middlesworth 7 challenges leader Schatz, but is either too wise or gentlemanly to slam the door off turn 2, and Donnie's back in front. No good deed goes unpunished. Both Keith and Mark Kinzer are out for the night. Keith had started near the end of the field, putting on a passing exhibition seldom seen in outlaw shows. The 38th National Open here goes to Donnie Schatz over Chris Aish and Johnny Herrera.
Donnie, I'm just going to ask you, how's it feel?
Oh, this is awesome. Never ever really run that good here before, and come out here and win the National Open tonight. Just absolutely awesome. I'll tell you what, I got to thank all my sponsors. Ken Woodruff, he gave me an awesome race car. I think anybody out there could have drove that thing to win tonight.
Surprisingly, Lincoln is running against the Grove National. With 47 super sportsmen in the pits, a decent crowd watches as Smokey Snowbaker and Bill Heckard crash their red racers. The bad night for Crimson Cars continues as John Stamen slams the wall. One of the best races anywhere all year climaxes with these final 2 laps. Mark Zimmerman, now in the 340, leads over 9th place starter Donnie Beaver, number 10, and 10th place starter Joe Renneker, number 25. The prodigal crowd has few regrets as Donnie Beaver picks up his first win of the season over Zimmerman and Renneker.
What was going through your mind those last couple of laps? What was the strategy to get by those guys?
It was really tough. Those guys, they were both racing really, really good. And once Joe slipped by me, I didn't think I had a chance. We got into lap traffic. Things kind of went our way. And we got the breaks.
37 358 sprint cars round out the show tonight at Lincoln. Point champ Doug Esch will get back in the race. Nate Snyder will not. Danny Jones in the 88 will pick up his first Lincoln win of the year with this pass of leader pole sitter James Layton, number 46, on the 8th lap. Bob Camilli and Joe Wilg eventually followed Jones across the finish. Hanover's Jones is the 6th different winner in 358 competition this year at Lincoln. October 1st is Run What You Brung at Mahoning Valley, where a little bit of Dorney Park lives on. First, you chase the guy that hit you. Then you go for the guy you hit, before you finally figure out that it's all the officials' fault. Once again, it's Eric Beers leading the way home here at Mahoning over a most interesting field of paved track stock cars. Eric had the lead by lap 6 and has a nice trophy and $1,600 for his efforts.
Got one hard in the wall and going over up here in turn number 1.
After Williams Grove ends its season along with most of the micro tracks, Linda's Speedway continues for a couple more Friday nights featuring extra stellar fields of the nation's best micro sprints. Mike Snake Eyes Dicely, Terrible Terry Schaefer, Shaky Jake Mays, Randy Wild Wild West, Jammin' Jimmy Brookins, and the list goes on. Fields in the headline 250 class are now approaching 70 here. When the leaves begin to fall at Linda's, even the tough guys tumble. It's Randy West, number 23, coming from 14th starting spot to pass Mike Miller on the 15th trip around the quarter mile. The world is indeed Randy's oyster, as he is the Linda's Point champ this year. October 7th, a crowd of near 300 braves chilly weather as the Woo Gum Out Support Series, Woo 2 for short, brings a good field of 37 sprinters for a show legitimately rain-dated from Memorial Day. Brian Carlson flips. Front row starter Donnie Kreitz, number 69, slips past fellow front row starter Lance DeWeese, 88, on the 9th lap.
Kreitz with a good move on the high side, and Kreitz is going to grab the lead. Donnie Kreitz across the line in front.
Series regular Jason Myers moved up to second in the end, with Chris Ace third, as DeWeese slipped to 8th. Over at Lincoln, where Fred Raymer won from last in the previous race, the big ticket finale of the year finds time trials starting the 77 third. Fred followed early Kenny Weld Memorial race leader Shawn Michael for several laps until worrying Shawn into the inside rail. The Point champ's least dramatic victory of the season here is his 99th career and comes over Johnny Mackison and Steve Siegel. October 14th, beautiful weather at Delaware International. Former Promoter of the Year Charlie Cathell has cornered the full-size racing market here in the first state. Reasons why include interesting classes with full fields, a quickly run show, and a tacky-surfaced full half-mile. The United Racing Club has come to call DIS their home track in recent years. Tim Hogue gets a bite while sliding sideways. Remember Butch Green? Well, his son Pete, in the number 0, leads, hoping for his first feature win. Brian Brittingham bounces over and out. It's Kurt Michael tonight in the 99, putting on the show, coming from back in the pack into second here past Dave McGuff. And past Green into first on the 17th lap. McGuff would move past Green also to finish second, with Green third for his best career finish. Kurt eats this up, living just a half mile away from the track here. The PA Posse makes its annual appearance here at Delaware International, with Todd Schaefer, 88, working the lead and win away from the 10 of Len Thompson. 24 sprinters made the trip south, with Thompson finishing second and Todd Hester third. Todd with his lovely wife Allison. October 15th, Cars finishes its season at Bridgeport, New Jersey. Joe Whitcomb, 71, takes first from eventual third-place finisher Gary Gullub before leading Dale Hammaker across the finish.
Is this number 1? Yeah, this is our first win. We led here a lot the last time we were here, but we hit a hole in the back stretch and broke the drive shot while we're leading, so a little bit of bad luck, a little bit of good luck tonight.
October 21st. A late-season addition to the Grandview schedule includes ARDC Midgets and URC Sprint features only. Everyone is okay in the first lap midget crash, with Brian Succi getting the worst. Tim Dietz leads every lap, with Ray Bull second and Walt Steerley third. Lance DeWeese and his Haas team, along with URC owner Gene Frankowiak, fudged the rules a little to make DeWeese an eligible starter. But hey, he came from 18th to pass Mike Hagenbottom with 2 laps to go. Trevor Lewis finished third. Old friends Lance and Tim hooted up together in Victory Lane. We will fade away for another year, leaving you with more micro mayhem. With cooperation from over 100 tracks, we can only say thank you to all the track promoters, announcers, and personnel. We do know what a tough job you've got, and nobody does it just for the money. Lynn Schaefer Productions videographers are Jeff Hall, Audrey Boyd, Fred Clunk, and Peggy. Also, plenty of camera help from Mark Meeks, Candy Baker, Brian Thompson, John Mooney, Mike Harker, Scott Beyer, Mark Douglas, Barry Boyd, Dennis Tackix, Tom Kelly, Mike Bowers, Ron Moyer, Jim Murdoch, Brett Oakletree, Mike Greenwood, and of course Steve and Doug Gigius of Sports Plus Video. For a full race video of just about any show highlighted in this tape, plus many more, dial area code 301-223-7318. For Silver Spring tapes, it's Kirk Wise at 717-766-3362. Grandview and Big Diamond tapes can be had from Bill Bush at 610-562-9111. Almost any New York track, call Mel Thomas, 315-789-3255. For New Egypt, Little Bridgeport, and Thunder Road, Vermont, call Jim Murdoch at 609-575-6160. For Michigan area race tapes, call Prime Tracks at 616-285-6471. Thanks to Midwest Coordinator Mike Harker. Professor Fred Clunk is our official proofreader. For anyone wondering about the adventures of Todd Ogletree, the human disaster charmed a wealthy female rehab counselor and now lives the good life in South Florida. The narrative's the fault of Lynn Schaefer, who writes from the fan perspective. No one can always call it like it is. The best we can do is call it like we honestly see it.
Also got back around, and we've got a car flipping. Third. Right now, Tom Busch holding down fourth, and a flipper in line, about to lose the top spot to Stoney Galebach. Trouble on the backstretch.
This is Wayne Harper,
along with Joe Mengel, saying thanks, and we'll see you around the ovals.